All right, it's Shay Seeking or Shalonda, and we're back. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and jump into the meat and potatoes because I just can't wait. You see, I just can't wait, right? So we're gonna go ahead and jump on right up on into it. Okay, so again, the main thing I want to talk about after explaining my viewpoint on this is that we're talking about defund the police. Okay, well, all right. Well, I don't see much police activity as I've never really, noticed that much of a difference in the past couple of months. No, yeah, I'm trying to think between when COVID happened or whatever. Okay? Let's see. Yeah, I can say that there was a lot more of police presence before the whole thing occurred, okay? The whole outbreak. But, really to be honest, going throughout town when I actually do, which is, I try not to as much, I don't know. I wonder. I guess people can. I guess you can look at the numbers in each city or county or whatever to see what the crime rate is, the response time when it comes to police and everything like that. I'm just wondering if in many of these places does it really matter when we're talking about the physical presence of the police rather than what they use? Because I can guarantee you that if they were using something like the stick, the billy club or whatever it was that they used to use a long time ago. Because now let's remember and recall that we rarely see so-called citizens, so-called black folk, so-called white folk, American Indians, so-called Native Americans. We rarely see these people attack the police. So we know that there's not really a reason or a need. And most of the time when it comes to so-called minority areas, they show up with a group anyway. So it really is no need for anyone to have a gun. And we're going to try to control the guns, and we're going to put a perception that these guns that are being used by these people are killing certain people in certain groups, then people in those neighborhoods surely shouldn't have them. Surely, especially when some of these people are unarmed, they surely shouldn't have them. They surely shouldn't fucking have them, right? How about we just start there? I'm just wondering who is thinking about any of this. So I'm sure if we wanted to cut back on cost, we could also cut back a lot if they didn't have guns and ammunition. And especially to the point where it's moving in a direction where these people are having guns and ammunition that is very highly skilled. Do we actually really need that? Do we need that? It's almost like buying back in the day a Chevy Caprice. Okay, it drove you around, it got you around, you got it for a good price. But you wanted something extra. You wanted the rims and what they call Vogues and again, in the paint job and the seats done. And what I'm saying? Nothing wrong with it. It's how you want it to your liking. But I'm just saying, just to talk about how something can be transformed or shaped or formed into something depending on what the person that owns it desires. But when I'm talking about the weapons, it's just like, is it necessary though? Is it necessary though? Do we have to defund where some so-called cops would be having to go home and not be able to work and get paid? Should we be cutting their pay? Or should we cut back on the things that they're using? The newer cars, all these things. Is it really necessary? And first of all, if we really think about it, let's just hear what they got to say. Let's just hear it.
Freaking out about danger to them and especially their children, they act And I think what you're seeing right now is a real rejection. And I believe this is why the Democrats did so poorly in the midterms, and that's why they're in the congressional races in November 2020. And I believe that this will be the pivotal issue in the midterms, and everyone's going to get on board, and that's okay with me. I don't care if they're sincere. I don't care if they really mean it. I don't care what Jenny Durkin said. I was in the summer of love. I know what it was like, and that was no summer of love in Seattle.
Jesse, actions and consequences. I mean, these cities are seeing it all across the country.
Criminals will get away with whatever we let them get away with.
These cities are doing this and all over the country, and criminals will get away with what they get away with. We're talking about these groups that I have been trying to speak to you guys about. We won't put any names or titles on them because, again, it's not necessary. It's just being able to see what is going on and transpiring around you. I'm not here to tell you what it is or what it ain't. I'm simply sharing what it looked like to me. Right underneath your noses, they're talking about situations that have to do with you. Yes, they're talking about the cities, but there's a duality here. Parables, parallels, allegorical symbolism, meaning behind is all intertwined, and the players up there in the fowl of the air know exactly what it is, whether they are the grafted in or original. But I'll tell you one thing, they don't want the original source having anything to do with it, especially if they keep it too real. That's what's wrong with this world now. That's what's wrong with it right now. It's going to change. It will change the dynamics of the way that people operate in the heavens that are on the earth or within this so-called earth. Around it, operating off of it, feeding or fueling themselves from it, that. So, and what they're saying is, oh, well, these groups said that and these groups said... I mean, if you really just listen, pay attention, you can see exactly what they're saying.
Like my daughters. No offense, ladies, but it's true. When they saw Chaz out there, they thought, okay, that was a signal. We can do whatever we want. And so then they defund the police in Seattle, $46 million, a wave of retirement.
Okay. Let's see. So this could have literally happened with the police, but I'm telling you, in another form or fashion, it happened as well. Now, let's look over here. Let's see. What is the police? What does etymology say that the police is? The police, noun, the regulation and control of a community, similar in sense to policy, from Middle French police, organized government, civil administrator, civil administration, a city. I'm telling you, the cities represent certain individuals or paramount. Okay, they may not be looked at as paramount amongst their peers, right? Or in their own homeland, right? Those are going to be those are going to be the haters that can't wait to hear or see something negative about you because they thought that you were trying to be something that you didn't want to be, but they just thought that way of you, and that's why they saw it that way. And so you will have a whole people turn against a particular person because of envy, jealousy, strife, because they don't understand, because of lack of knowledge, because they want to be them, because they don't fit in, because they don't want to fit in, because they don't give a fuck about what nobody else think. There's a difference between a narcissist and somebody that just knows. And again, nobody has to agree. I don't share information for people to agree with me. I don't care if you think what I think. I just want people to think outside of the box. Once you're able to do that, and you can imply that in your life, I don't care what you eat. I don't care what you drink. I don't care what you listen to. I don't care none of that shit. Once you realize this, and you at least change your mindset when it comes to the way you see this world, that can be a world of difference for you and the next generation. We focus on these petty things that you don't wear. They don't wear the head covering. They wear the head covering. They didn't wear the mask. They wear the mask. This, and that. It's just silliness. Who's eating cucumbers and shit for lunch? You know, it's none of this stuff. At the end of the day, yes, okay, do what you want to do. Maybe some people are missing out on a little level of, but maybe some of us were just born and bred to be who the fuck we are, and that's what it is. And realizing that those things are also dynamics of control mechanisms to create divisions amongst people is the reason why they focus more on that inner part. And while when they look outside at the world is looking at them like they're crazy, and they're looking at the world like, what the hell is wrong with you? It's happened over and over and over and over and over again. Until the mid-19th century, used in English for civil administration, application to administrations of public order, law enforcement. What did we say on this channel? Order in the court. I don't give a fuck whose feelings is hurt. It is about order in the court. It's not about hate. Because we bring up certain things doesn't mean we worship idols. Because we talk about certain situations that were hidden under wraps and the public didn't know about it, and now we know about it through so-called conspiracy theorists. We're finding that most of this stuff is true. And even better than that, there is a parallel or duality to them where it's meaning something in the spiritual realm and it's meaning something in this worldly realm. Something physical, something spiritual. And if you don't know that, we can't heal. You can create all the nations you want. You ain't gonna win if you ain't right within. And if you think that you're gonna ride on the back of somebody that did all that damn work, or people are gonna be able to form and build up other individuals to take from people that are actually pretty upright, pure-hearted, righteous individuals, then that is a problem. A sense of an organized civil force for maintaining order, preventing and detecting crime. Okay. Again, so when they're saying to defund the police, and when they talk all this stuff about police, and they just now making this such a big thing when January 6th was so long ago, is because it's not talking about that kind of police. It's talking about us that are the giants that were in these days, whether you know it or not, that have more rank and pull than you ever have had right now in these moments. That's why they had to hide the fact that you were under some form of investigation, right? And then some of us had salt or a level of something, metals or other materials thrown into the mix to deter you or to take you off your course or off your track, so that other people, it reminded me, it was a young lady, a soul sibling, that just did a video on weather modification, and I posted it, a link to it. And again, those who have eyes to see will see, ears to hear will hear. And how she said that it said about the Prince and Kate used weather modification to prevent, to seed rain clouds in order to, save the day for their wedding. Well, let's look at this like this too, right? When we talk about the world card and we see the lady trapped inside of the circular or oval shaped thing, okay? And you see the 4 animals and then one that like a face of a man, right? Okay? And then there was eyes all about, right? Those eyes, again, represent seeds. Even we just looked at the Trump coat of arms, and I told you guys those little things look like seeds swimming around inside of that thing, okay? Hold on. All right. So again, to see these clouds, I mean, when we see the duality and the symbolic things, I mean, and this is what I'm saying, all this talk of everything, see, and that's what thing about what's going on right here. When we talk about dealing with the all, okay? So the reason why people might feel resentful or amused, some people are thrilled, some people are happy for the situation, and some people just don't, they make them feel uncomfortable because we've been educated, that means you've been trained. So when somebody come up and they never went to college at all for no most millionaires become millionaires and never even went to high school, right? Okay, so if we think about this in the sense of somebody wanting to dang, I was talking about seeds. How did we get over here? Okay. Oh my goodness. What am I thinking? Oh, let's go back to seeds and maybe I'll remember. Oh, okay, that's what it was. So like the people went to school. Oh, I went to college for this many years and I majored in this. Well, the thing is, Source is bringing people out of the mud that didn't have to do none of those things. That's able to basically crush with a sentence or a certain point of view that people can bring up on their own when it comes to natural healers, right? When it comes to people that naturally can see. Versus there's always going to be a form that they try to create that is an idol, and that is the one that they're going to pull up into the heavens and display. But not anymore. Not anymore. And again, we're figuring it's not just even on the physical no more. It's on the spiritual. That's why Source had many of us go and tap into that first. And then it just remind me of like the shaft or whatever going away with the wind, dude. It's done. Do you see what I'm saying? And I don't even think they really even got started yet. It's done. So anyways, we're talking about the seed, right? Okay, so we can look at that as which may be sown, something that may be sown, right? And then if we're talking about clouds, that's something that's going to be above something else, right? Okay, individual grain or seed, offspring, prosperity, Proto-Germanic, seed, High German, okay? To sow, okay? Okay, what it says, rare now except in the biblical use, meaning semen. Okay, so we know that semen brought semen over here in order to impregnate the womb or the capital or the whatnot. You understand what I'm saying? Vassals, domes. The architecture is on point, actually, really. To flower or flourish, okay? So again, I do feel like, there's some flowering or flourishing that happened, presumably. The whole experience wasn't bad. I'm saying it brought me to me, a different way of seeing myself even. So, okay. So again, let's see about this cloud. These people don't just say stuff for no reason. You see, they just don't, A mass of rock, okay, could be your pineal. Okay, again, on the hill. Okay, we did something about the hill in Palauzi and other things like this a while back. And prophecy, we could say prophecy or plan when it comes to the biblical text. All right. Let's see, cloud-like mass, smoke or dust, obscures, darkens, threatens, or casts a shadow upon. Oh, yeah. Hence, under a cloud, in a cloud, removed from earth, things obscure, fanciful, unreal, is from the 1640s. Cloud compeller translates Greek, whatever, the Homeric, something of Zeus or Isus or Isis. make overcast or cloudy. So again, bringing that energy in, making me feel like a damn zombie some days. You know, you could listen. In this way, even if we talk about physical modification of the clouds that are hovering over, even the storm that just ripped through here last night. When I went outside, my daughter was afraid. When I went outside, nothing was really popping off. I put my arm out the window and walked outside, and as soon as I did that, the storm got catastrophic. Everything just started blowing. It blew me back into the damn house. You understand? There's something going on here. Okay? Place under suspicion or cast doubt upon. So again, don't trust this energy. Look at that. Look how she lived. Look at her this. I won't even be shocked if these people was watching me in my most private moments. So there's different parties here. Like when I'm speaking this, when I'm seeing it, when I'm saying it, there's different parties here. There's a party of beings, okay, whether they're angelic or fallen, right, that were there, I feel. There's a group when it comes to tech that's there. There's a foreign alien, ancient alien aspect to the whole thing. But when you go back to that which was before, there's no one else on earth. I will tell you, I was the one that brought to you that this Bible is talking about the colonization of certain portions of this so-called world or plane. It's talking about what the creation of nations on top of things and empires that were already there. There's not another person I've run into on this planet that break down this biblical text in history and now like you're going to find on this channel. You could go back and see. It's almost like that song that there was one Kanye and now I look around and there's many Kanyes. That's how I feel. That's one day I woke up. Or even that Drake song about dying every night or whatever or something like that. And then, you know, but still waking up. I don't know. Okay. Make milky or dull. Again, that could be me. You know what I'm saying? That could be my own. But then again, is it really? Because when I look at these things, I say, well, some of this energy that's around just don't want me. You know, I try to do this, that happened. I try to go here, this happened. It's always something. I try to just get on the computer, the mouse did. You know, it's just always something on top of something. And then I'm already dealing with something because my mind is just something. It just takes a lot of energy. It's a lot of energy. But I think it's because of some of the attacks, some of the sorcery, some of the spells, some of the attacks, and some of the other things that, again, may be happening on the spiritual realm that we cannot actually see. All right, so suspicion affecting your okay, so suspicion, cause to worry or gloom or trouble. Suspicion affecting your reputation. Okay. A group of many things in the air or on the ground. Okay. Again, like a swarm. Okay. All right. I see. Right. So again, somebody doesn't believe that I deserve. Right. And some people acted as if they were there to help, but actually to maybe harm or stall the process, to put an idol in place of the empress. See, and it's funny that we talk about that wedding, right? Because I'm thinking about this white gown, right? And I'm thinking about somebody, like I told y'all, that there's plants here. People that were planted in certain positions, okay, of power, presented on platforms like MSNBC News in Atlanta. In other areas. In other places within the so-called community. Okay. That some think may make better representatives. I'm gonna take them to get fixed.
Where's my blankets?
I folded it. I put it over on the side of the couch by the stairs. So again, this also, it's like, are you serious? This energy is still able to reign from where it is, but you're gonna make a copy and place it in a position? But really, it took scientists. It had to take NASA. It had to take, it had to take some real work for these people to do what they've been doing to one little poor girl that's actually rich. And also, are we taking funds? Are we defunding these particular people of inherited goods, land, money, and resources, while you mine the mind and run off with the things that are detrimental to that capital or that land or the earth? And there has to be some kind of ethic. There has to be some kind of code when it comes to royal heirs. Now, ain't they people that handle this? Where are they? Oh, they've had plenty of time to doctor documents and make some docile. All right. Let's get back to what we was talking about.
Shootings spike, and you know who the victims mostly were? Black Americans. So you have a white liberal mayor teaming up with a white city council under the banner of anti-racism, ends up triggering a crime wave that disproportionately affects.
Now remember, white means pure, right? You look at some of these, now we want to be, this a so-called black one. So when it's somebody that's speaking truth and bringing information that is not even being obtained by any of your scientists or doctors or any, like, they cannot even understand what's going on here. But some of us. Realize and recognize they're trying to point out aspects of individuals such as myself and others that don't look a certain way because we have that old school, that old world appearance. With a mesh of a little bit of everything. The mother of all, basically. The people that are very well documented and may have things in order are families, again, that are maybe, well, I wouldn't say autochthonous. I would not say they are the earth, but just from a different part of it, okay? I wouldn't say, well, native in a sense. Indigenous. We've done a breakdown, I keep saying. Meaning offspring of that is original. And you'll notice these people that are getting into places of power that look like you ain't even able to handle the situation and the circumstances. Even when they've been mining the mind. The capital. The idea is to get people that look like you, that are not you, that people that don't know who they are. I'm talking about the law of nature. I'm talking about that is, again, your birthright. From obtaining those and then saying, oh, look, these so-called Negroes or colored folk can't handle it. Look what's happening. But those are not the people. Let's imagine the millions of people that came from sister countries or nations, Africa, the islands, different places that, again, are being rushed into. Even when it came to, I can't remember what it was. I think Obama let a whole bunch in. And I'm not saying this in a negative way. I'm just saying it how it is. From different places. It was something that happened where a lot of people got exiled into the Americas and I think Canada. It's funny that Biden let a lot in. You know, we have, again, females in the community that have been on places like MSNBC, I think Atlanta, that represent a portion of something. And it's not until, again, some people like this platform brought up things that's not even personal to them. It's about the thing that they are bringing forth. Just looking at it with an open, a non-bias. We're not trying to be biased, just looking at it for what it is.
Can we go in the master?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. So when we're talking about these individuals, and I've always told you guys, the real don't get recognized. They're compromised, despised. So you ain't gonna catch nobody like me unless we bring order to the court on any of them platforms. There may be somebody that look like you, because there's a lot of family ties here. Through bloodline and heredity. And it just so happens that, yeah, there's a form of head start. See? But it's true. But again, these are not people that are, you can look at the people, again, there was something about some 2 women in the north or whatever that are not showing up and letting murderers off. You wonder why. Who are these people? A lot of these people were brought here for reign, to reign on the earth, to reign on my and our parade.
African Americans. Malcolm X said something about this.
And it ain't no such thing as no African American. Well, most of us that are here are not African American. You would be considered a white American before really any of these things, or American Indian, right? Because it was that which was purely of this land. Some of us have ties with bloodlines that were of the 1600s, when we're talking about the King I Am Bible. Some have ties with the earth and the water. You're here and there. The earth and maritime law. But being treated as peasants. Aren't there people that handle this? Where are they?
I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you're fine. Is it? Okay, here I come. But again, we know that guns don't kill people, right? People with agendas kill people. And a lot of these people, I'm afraid, that are passing are of royal and or powerful bloodlines that withhold a lot of inheritance to lands and resources, trust, deeds, and things of this nature. But since some people, just random people, I'm just saying in general, have had a head start, been dabbling in these things for a long time, right? They seem to be prepared already when they came into this here. They seem to have had their stuff already taken care of before, which is not a problem. I guess they had a head start, or they had a, again, or they were placed there. Just to make sure that you didn't. While we sit here with the real jewels as a source of that information, and we're working hard and diligently to bring this information to the people. They have people that are actually getting prepared by man's law, which we talked about that in a biblical text, that these people depend on that instead of natural law or laws of nature. It's nothing personal. It just is the way that it is. It's nothing personal. Some of these people don't even know that this is what they've been used for, and some do. Okay? But again, people kill people, not guns. So we would need to, instead of talking about let's get the guns off the street, let's get the people off the street that carry the guns. Let's give them something of value, like their real story of their real heredity, so they know who they are, to know where they're going. Could that be a form of reparation, since we can't afford anything else? Can you afford that? Can you afford that? You already know who we are. Can you afford that?
Jesse's quoting Malcolm X.
You never thought I'd quote Malcolm X, but he actually warned against the white liberal, because he says the white liberal will often pretend to be the friend of black Americans, but they only do that to use the black Americans against conservatives. So they just use them as pawns. It ends up hurting black Americans.
And each other.
And the city council president in Seattle, she's actually running for mayor. This is what she proposed to reduce the gun violence. You ready?
Yep.
Programs from hospital-based intervention strategies to...
Which, in some towns, especially some where I know of, they're working on making these mega facilities for, what do you call it? Juvenile facilities. Okay? So again, what does that do then? Then where are these people, again, that have nothing else to do because they don't know who they are? Where are they going to be going? It's all about, it's never been about your skin color. You see, this is why over time people of all skin tones have been used to push forward a narrative or notion, false perception. It doesn't have to do with that. It has to do with who you are. Who you are. And this is why we have 1 month out of the year to learn about the same individuals over and over again. And it's not even a powerful pack that they, punch that they packed, that they give you. It's the watered down version of just a, repetitive way of thinking. They don't even get down to the meat and potatoes of what the people was really talking about right before they passed or were killed. So again, it's institutionalized, educate, all these things. It's not about that. It's about something that the people are missing or lacking from within. One thing is the mind. The mindset, and that whole, people get mad the way I talk about the community, but it's all about that victimizing thing that's not going to lead anybody anywhere. These people are going to get in positions and they're going to be with that victimized mentality, and they're not going to be able to see things straight or from a balanced, grounded point of view. And if they're given certain things, they will lose them very quickly. Maybe to the people that look like them, that set them up in those positions in the first place, so that they know that at the end of it, they will end up with their goods in their back pocket. Yeah, they'll help you with this and that. But again, some of these people have a back door to information that, again, once you're wiped out or out of the picture, they will be able to obtain these riches. And it doesn't matter what color, because even if we talk about with each other, okay, there's going to be, once they stabilize and everything, there's going to be the people that have been watching over them from the heavens that then have a way to entrap. Once they're greedy and fat, like a little pig sitting there with all of this abundance, they won't be able to take care of it the way they're supposed to. So they'll have to end up selling it off to some of these people that come in, that can afford to do so. Whether it's financial or, again, So because we went against each other and didn't help each other, then they're going to be in a situation where they're going to need you one day. And again, those people that were over them watching them or put them in that position are going to take it right from them. Woo.
Trauma healing programs. Do you guys know what that means? I have no.
And most of us don't. You don't need no therapy, no psychiatrist, none, no medication that they're going to try to prescribe to you. You need to know yourself. You need to do the work to get to know yourself, your true power, potential, and what you hold and what you bring to the table. And never let nobody take it away, whether they take the fucking table away or not. So people put on this show and they talk about these things on the surface to get you active, get you all in your emotions. Oh yeah, riled up and everything. Because if they spoke to you the way that some of us speak to you, especially on this platform, you're going to, oh, that person is look at how she said about this. This person is a bootlick or boule or, all these other things, right? Bill Cosby said those things about people wearing the clothes and doing these things. Oh, when that case came, oh, remember he said about us? Was it not true? See, truth hurts and it make you have to do something about it. Anybody can come over here and just say, oh, why our children got to be the ones with that's not even close to touching on what the real things is that we can do in order to change it. Because it's not really what they're looking for. They're looking to tap into your emotions. And when you're emotional or in fear, guess what? You're not thinking properly. I can put theatrics on as, oh, yeah, but I already know why. We know the solutions why. So why keep talking about it at that level? Why keep marching about it at that level? Why keep buying into many of these things, materialism and all these other things that we don't need when it's feeding the beast? If you want to get rid of it, then what do? Starve it. But in turn, they're starving us right now. And people are still rushing out to try to do those things that make them look a certain way. Again, which is still feeding their perception or the way they want the world to perceive us as a whole. And how you're supposed to look, walk, talk, dress, present yourself. Because real recognize and real really ain't got to try to put on the front for nobody. Real is just what it is. It don't matter about what your house look like. Don't matter what kind of car you drive. It don't matter. Matter of fact, the realest motherfuckers ain't got shit. They out there laying in the middle of the street. How about we get some grocery stores in some of these neighborhoods and remove some of the liquor stores so that people can have, again, because I do think it does have to, your mindset has to do with some of the things that we feed our vessel. That don't mean you got to be strict or call yourself no vegetarian, nothing like that. But you just got to just, change things around a little bit. Sometimes fasting and not eating a damn thing is what you need. Yes, some of these things are awful to eat and take in, but sometimes when there's a lot going on, which again, in most of these neighborhoods there is, because the mother and the mother is there by herself and the father is gone, or they're both there working very hard to bring what they can to the table and it's still check by check. So they have to do what they have to do. Time related, stress related. So again, what do? We teach people how to tap into themselves and gifts that they have in order to offer. So I wouldn't say these facilities, they're talking about mental and all this, because all really you need to do is bring a form of, most of these people don't even want to wake up and see, I apologize, I had to pause for a second, another day. How about giving them a sense of being useful within the community? Usually I say stuff like this. People start off and they take these ideas and then they start and they do something, but it's really still going in a direction of these oppressive views and things. It's not really dealing with the soul of the people. It's not dealing with the son or the souls of God. Okay? It's something that's going to give you the perception or look as though that's what it's doing, but again, it's really not dealing with the root of things. Yes, there should be some kind of, but they should be providing certain things that are missing from the homes of some of the youth. And people should be vetted before they're able to deal with children in general and period. By the time these children reach high school, if there's going to be some kind of schooling, they should be already going into, they could learn everything they need to know before high school. So by the time you get to high school, that should really be a form of college or some kind of, what did they used to call those things back in the day? Goodness. I can't remember what it was called. Oh, I just almost had it. Goodness. You know them programs where they in high school they let you select if you want to go off to one of these like a local college. It's the word is going to irritate me. To study for certain things like hair, to like go to beauty school or something like that, and it's a name for it that they use for high school educate. No, it's something like that. It starts with an E, I believe. Okay. You know, they should be learning about financing, your credit. Because again, back in our day, growing up, it was like, don't get pregnant. Everybody was getting pregnant. You know what I'm saying? Teenage pregnancy was like on the rise or whatever. But nobody was talking about like your credit and all these kind of things and banking to that, that degree. Like even in school, they should have, I can't remember if they did or not when we did business class. If they taught us how to go get a bank account, and maybe they should give everybody like $100 and see how they perform with this and have them write out something. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. Because I mean, even just some of us adults struggle with, that. Okay. But then when something is, taking up your time that you don't get paid for in a time when people should be compensated in some form of, whether it's a certain position or whatever it is, for their activity. But no, these people will try to turn it around as if that's inactivity and you need to keep doing something else and something more. I just think of some of the stuff that we knew that certain groups come in and take from, they're owed more than a reparation, okay? So if you get these people something to live for, something else to do other than what they're doing in the neighborhood, some jobs, some type of people that look like them, that are them in the community that can provide generational wealth from stores and things like that, running the communities and working within the community. So these children, when they go to the store, they can see their people doing these things, their uncle or something running this candy shop or this store or something. So that in turn, they had this kind of a view or opinion of people that they can do this too. And when they get older, maybe they want to take over the store. They want to make something else and create something else instead of always just in their immediate borders seeing other people excel and not them. So it's not, like I said, this is all by design, but it's not because of the skin color, it's because of the people you are. But if they can keep you thinking that you're not anything, then they can rape and rob you. Yes, rape. One of these people in this interview is going to say something like, oh, I wouldn't use the term rape. No, that's what it is. That's what it is.
Idea what that means, and nobody else does. So Seattle voted for these clowns. At a certain point, you have to say, these are the leaders the Seattle people chose. And now Seattle's a shooting gallery. All it does is rain and coffee out there. Now all they do is shoot people.
Yeah, what's the point?
What is the point of
What's
Seattle
Seattle
now
like?
if you can't get a cup of coffee safely?
It's no Fraser
And listen
anymore.
to grunge.
I guess you can't get a cup of coffee without a mask, too. In some places nowadays. It starts from within. And these people know exactly what they can do in order to improve these certain neighborhoods of the so-called poor, okay? Poor conditions, poor surroundings create a poor state of mind. And it doesn't matter if you just gave everybody reparations or some kind of income right now, it's not going to be even worth anything. It's going to be run into the ground, and they're going to use it on the same things to keep fueling the beast if the mindset is not recalibrated. When it comes to policing, police should be people, okay, in that community, okay, that are from that community, that are familiar with that community. It doesn't really matter what color they are, because all so-called white cops don't kill people, and all so-called black people don't, you know what I'm saying? So it's so. And even when it comes to that, it's not the police. It is that is behind the police. It is the people that supply them with the rights and the fuel and the ammunition to do what they do. Those particular laws, sometimes lies that lie ahead and behind, in front of us. Like, a way of thinking. And seeing yourself and others. You want to heal the earth, you have to start with her children. Even when you look at Israel, it was the people that they were, why they were treated like this by a certain God. And we're talking about Israel, so we're talking about even before, past, present, and future, all mixed in. So they would have that DNA or that makeup from those early people all the way on down. And so they possess special gifts and powers and skills, is why they were treated that way. It's not really because of what you, in my opinion, it's just my opinion. So again, it depends, because everybody's thinking about this one God concept when that's not true. And that's why you can't see that. No, we shouldn't be sitting here taking it. There needs to be a turn around, a real waking, realizing, and rising up. That's not. I'm not gonna do it actually, because again, the change of the thought process should just show you exactly what we're talking about, using common sense, discernment, and wisdom, and knowledge again that you've obtained. The person doesn't treat their children like a certain way and then let other people get the upper hand. That is a misconcept. That's a crooked way of thinking. That's another thing that is making the people sick in the head, by thinking they're not worthy or they're wretches and these kind of things. That's not your God. Oh, it's a punishment for this. Well, where's the punishment for all of everything else that's going on then, or had been happening over time, when these people were really just good people at heart, right? The poorest people are the people with the best manners, good at heart, all these things. So you just was trained well to be servants when you're not even that, by blood. So again, weren't even slaves. You were prisoners of war, meaning they came into your place and colonized or conquered, or supposedly did, by changing your mind, right? And then brought you to a lower level, and you submitted to it, or were subjugated to it. And I say, for me, no more. How about we remove some of these fast food joints? Because again, people are going to get to or walk to or do. A lot of people don't even have cars in some of these communities. So it make it easier so that your options are really these options, and that's just it. Some of these chains or whatever, and I still go to them when I don't have time or I run out of time. And some of these chains, should be abolished. Or there should only be a certain number of them available in certain areas that they know are dealing with so-called high blood pressure and diabetes, if these things are being brought on by these particular foods, when I think it's other things as well that's out of your control. including dealing with your mindset in the heart of America, in the heart of the earth, in the heart of the women. So what they say that so-called black women are leading in heart disease. What else can we look at when it comes to the heart of these women? It has been torn out. It has been misrepresented by people that look like them in all different positions, in all different positions in this structure or caste or classes. She is the most degraded woman amongst her own men, even sometimes, in the entire world. That's one thing we can take. And is that really something that we want to be labeled with or riddled with? Because it's not about your skin color, because they'll take another female that's like you and put her in your place. Or is it about who you are and the power that you possess, that they think that they can get their hands on whenever they want to, and turn your own people against you whenever they want to? And because people lack knowledge and understanding, they can't see. Even some of these people are fighting against their own mother. Because what that particular guy represents is something that benefits them, and they can act in reckless and treat women and do all these things the way they want in the family, how they want, and still be rewarded with whatever she has to offer at the end of the day. As a milkmaid or a housemaid or a handmaid, or you see what I'm saying? This is why that your grandmama Nim was having these babies, because they knew what you possessed. And so think about those generations, and then us now, and then the generations that are in certain positions of power that are put on platforms, and the ones that are still down here and still secretly birthing nations. In vitro fertilization and other more advanced alien technologies or foreign technologies attached to it. And you, without your knowing, some of you. So yeah, we need to remove the children off the street and not put them in institutions, but to fill them with a nurturing, loving direction, and a way to give them a sense of direction to get to know themselves, and that was with them at a young age, so they can go on to be something or someone, regardless of who tells them they can or they cannot. They will not bow down, and they will go off to do wonderful and great things. Because of I see a lot of entrepreneurship growing. So these women that are coming up with different, herbs and stuff like this, packets and natural ways of making candles and things like this. This stuff is amazing, because again, it's going to give that particular hands-on work ethic to the next generation. Or even if it's something that is of your mind that you can use, that's mindful and something that can help people. That is something that they may not want to hear and can't hear what you're saying now, but maybe when they tap into that realm, when they get a certain age and they come into this right of things, maybe they will be able to, go back to what they did hear you. You see, they're not listening, but they are, right? So they'll be able to go back into that tool shed and grab out what they need so they can perform. A lot of us don't know these gifts and these things that our parents and our ancestors had, or they felt some kind of way about themselves because of the way that they grew up, where they didn't totally tap into those things. And so now they look at you kind of like happy but envious, because they wish that they would have allowed themselves to take those things and utilize them. And they see you doing it. So again, they can either cheer for you or be against you. They can either call you crazy or be collective. So again, I think that's it I want to say for now. And again, so gratitude and grand rising. Thanks for stopping by. Don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe, and share if you like. And I'll see you guys soon. Take care.